Hi, boys and girls. We are starting our new unit on environmental changes and their effects. Today, you have already looked at our phenomena, and now we are going to be accessing our prior knowledge. Remember, that means we're going to be trying to figure out what we already know about a topic, okay? So we're going to play kind of a game together. Let's go through it together. Our first slide says environmental changes and effects. Several children were having a discussion about whether the new industrial building that was just built in their town would affect the organisms in their area. So they want to know whether or not this right here, this new industry, right, this new industrial building would affect the living things in their area, like the plants and the animals and the humans. So we are going to read each child's statement, so what they have to say, their opinion, and we're going to decide if we think it's correct, partially correct, which means part of it is correct, or if it's incorrect, meaning it's wrong. Let's see our first student. Our first student here is Tammy. Tammy says this. She says, I think building the new industrial building is great. It didn't affect any plants and animals. If you agree with Tammy, you will put a thumbs up. If you agree partially, meaning only some of it is correct, you'll put your thumb to the side. And if you think Tammy is wrong, you're going to put your thumb down. I'm going to read what she said one more time, and then I want to see where your thumb's at. Tammy said, I think building the new industrial building is great. It didn't affect animals, any animals or plants. Thumbs up, thumbs to the side, or thumbs down. All right, let's see if you are correct. Let's check your answer. You should have had a thumbs down. This statement was incorrect. So remember, she said that she thought it was great. It wouldn't affect plants or animals. That's actually not true. Let's look at these bullet points on the right. They say farming and factories can destroy habitats and create really unhealthy living environments for animals when the water, soil, and air are polluted. So that building could create an unhealthy place for those plants or animals to live. When the change in an environment occurs, organisms like plants or animals could be forced to leave their natural habitats to find food, fresh water, air, or shelter. So those basic needs. Sometimes the changes are so quick and abrupt or so severe that they can't survive or adapt in time, meaning that those animals could just die. Plants are particularly at risk when there's a big change because they're immobile, meaning they can't move on their own. They don't have legs or wings, so they can't really escape those hazardous conditions. So Tammy was wrong. It did affect plants and animals. Let's look at our next student. Here's what Sam said. Sam said, I think the pollution from the new industrial building will only affect plants and animals around the building. So only in that area right around the building, it will affect those plants or animals. Thumbs up if you think he is correct. Thumbs to the side if you think he's partially correct. Thumbs down if you think he is incorrect. Make your choice. All right, do you have it? Let's check to see if you're correct. So again, Sam said, I think pollution from the new industrial building will only affect plants and animals around the building. That is incorrect. The key word in this was only, and it's not only going to affect those plants and animals around the building. Sure, it will affect those plants and animals around the building, but not only those. It's going to also affect plants and animals farther away. So surface runoff, that means like things that are spilled out of factories or are taken out of factories can carry pollution into water systems and rivers, which then can carry the pollution to lakes and oceans, which can cause a much larger effect. Think about it. If a business or an industry pollutes something like the water or the air, that water or air is going to move to different locations and different animals or plants will be impacted by that. Sam was wrong. Let's see our next student, Anna. Anna says, I think building the new industrial building destroyed some animal and plant habitats. Some animal and plant habitats. Do you think that she's correct, partially correct, or incorrect? Thumbs up, thumbs to the side, or thumbs down. Make your choice. All right, let's see if you were right. You should have had your thumb up. Anna was correct. She said that they would destroy some animal and plant habitats. So agricultural, that means like farming, and industrial, which means like factories, practices can destroy habitats and create unhealthy living environments for animals when the water, the soil, the air are polluted by their practices or what they have to do to run the factory or run the agriculture activity. So Anna was correct. It will destroy some animals and plant habitats. The last one, here is Tariq. Tariq says, I think some habitats were affected, but the plants and animals will be able to adjust. Do you agree with Tariq? Do you think he's partially correct, meaning part of what he said is correct? Or do you think he is wrong or incorrect? Thumb up, thumbs to the side, thumbs down. Let's see. All right, let's see if you're correct. He was partially correct. Your thumb should have been to the side. So he was partially correct. Here's why. Agricultural and industrial practices can destroy habitats. So he said that he knows that some habitats could be affected. So we do know that part is true. They would be affected, right? They could create unhealthy living places for those plants and animals. However, his second part where he said, but the plants and animals will be able to adjust, that was wrong. If an animal is able to survive after the environmental change in the first place, it's because it has some other form of finding natural food sources or it has found a different place for shelter. But changes in the adaptations of plants and animals usually takes generations. So the adaptations didn't change. It was just that they must have found some other place to find food or shelter. But not all plants and animals are always going to be able to adjust. Some, like a lot of plants, can't move on their own, so they wouldn't be able to adjust or leave to go somewhere else. So that part of it was not correct. All right, good work, boys and girls. Tomorrow we will dig in a little bit deeper. Have a good rest of your day.